A visit to Manila, the horror of Boracay. As soon as I arrived in Manila, I knew there was something strange about this place. The city's lights were mesmerizing, people were bustling even at midnight, and the warm air seemed to wrap around me. But there was something odd in the surroundings, a feeling I couldn't explain, like someone was watching me. I quickly grabbed my luggage and called a grab to take me to my hotel in Makati. When the car arrived, I immediately noticed the driver, an older man who seemed deep in thought. He didn't talk much, and sometimes I noticed him glancing behind as if something was following us. "Be careful here in Manila," he said as he looked at me in the rearview mirror. "There are places here you shouldn't go. Sometimes shadows aren't just shadows." I smiled, thinking he was just trying to scare me. But when we reached a dark intersection, I saw it, something moving at the side of the road. At first I thought it was just a person, but as we got closer, it became clear that it wasn't human. It had a long body, standing as if it was waiting. My vision darkened, and just as we sped up, it disappeared into the darkness. I tried to brush it off as my tired mind playing tricks on me. When I arrived at the hotel, I quickly checked in. The moment I stepped inside, I noticed the lobby was empty, too quiet for a night in the city. The receptionist handed me my key card, but before I could leave, she gave me a strange warning. "Sir, you're in room 1408. But if you hear anything strange tonight, don't leave your room." I frowned, but thanked her. I took the elevator and walked down the long hallway to my room. The walls were lined with paintings, old pictures of Manila from decades ago. But one painting caught my attention. A woman in traditional clothing, staring at me as if her eyes were following me as I walked past. I shook off the feeling and entered my room. The room was nice, clean, and had a great view of the city. But as soon as I entered, a cold draft brushed against my face and the lights flickered. I froze, listening to the silence, but there was no unusual noise. I lay down on the bed, convincing myself it was just jet lag. But no matter what I did, I couldn't sleep. It was as if someone was whispering in my ear, a whisper I couldn't understand. I bolted up, but there was no one in the room, just me, alone, and the cold air. The next day, I was ready to fly to Boracay. I thought I needed some rest and peace after my strange experience in Manila. I thought the oddities would end there, but they didn't. While on the plane, we hit sudden turbulence. We almost crashed, and though the flight attendants remained calm, the fear was evident in their eyes. Something was wrong. I tried to look out the window, but it seemed like the plane was surrounded by fog. I could see shadows outside, moving along the wings. They looked like ghostly figures, crawling on the wings. My heart stopped in fear when one of the shadows turned to face me, its eyes glowing in the dark. I wanted to scream, but no voice came out. Finally, the turbulence stopped, and the shadows disappeared, but I couldn't shake off the dread from what I had seen. When we landed in Boracay, I tried to forget everything. The place was beautiful, white sand, clear water, and a peaceful atmosphere. But even in this paradise, I couldn't escape the fear that followed me from Manila. I checked into a beachside resort, hoping it would help me relax. That night, I decided to take a walk along the beach. The moonlight gave the surroundings an eerie beauty, and the sound of the waves was calming. But in an instant, I felt the strange presence again. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something moving, a shadow standing at the water's edge. Without a second thought, I ran back to the resort. The receptionist was already waiting for me, as if she knew what was happening. "Did you see it too?" she asked in a deep voice. I nodded, unable to speak. "They've been waiting for someone like you," she said, fear in her eyes. Before I could respond, the lobby lights flickered and went out. I heard the whispers that had been following me. I hurried up the stairs, trying to reach my room. As I got closer, the whispers grew louder. It was as if they were trying to pull me into the darkness. Finally, I managed to unlock my room and slammed the door shut. The room was silent, but incredibly cold. I thought I was safe, but from the corner of the room, a shadow appeared. The same shadow I had seen on the beach, on the plane in Manila. It didn't move, but I could feel its heavy gaze on me. I collapsed to the floor, unable to move, unable to scream. It felt like the darkness was swallowing me until I completely lost consciousness. I woke up to the sudden jolt of the plane. I shot up from my sleep. I was surrounded by passengers busy with their phones, and from the window I could see the vastness of America. I held my breath, trying to process everything that had happened. It was just a dream, a bad dream. I was still in the US, and my flight to Manila was still far away. I laughed, thinking about how my anxiety had taken over me. I cleared my mind and tried to sleep again, hoping for a more peaceful rest. But just as I was about to close my eyes, I heard a whisper, a familiar whisper from the dream. I jumped up in fear, but when I looked around, it was just a flight attendant asking if I wanted a drink. I sighed in relief and smiled, but from the corner of my eye, I saw something move outside the airplane window. I closed my eyes, hoping it wouldn't happen again.